Yeah, it is. um, bear with me, bear with me. All right, gonna move this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session on how to rock your LinkedIn profile. 11th of June, 2020. Amazing. So just a few house rules first before we get going. You can keep your webcam on, it's optional. But sometimes it's nicer when it's on and you can see everyone's faces. It feels a lot more interactive and less like I'm speaking to a brick wall. All of your microphones are currently on mute. That's a default setting. If you want to ask questions or chat with me, then you can. You can use the chat function in Zoom and you can message me directly. And either during or at the end of the session, I'm going to go and ask those questions to Maria. Make sure you're using headphones. This is normally to avoid background noise, but since you're on mute, there shouldn't be too much of an issue. Make sure you have your laptop and phone chargers next to you, so we don't want you to drop out of the call. You're not really going to have the ability to talk during this session, unfortunately, so don't worry about talking over anyone else. And a reminder that this session is being recorded, so if you're uncomfortable with that, then I suggest that you turn your webcam off, because then we can't track you and we're not capturing any of your personal data. So today's agenda, I'm going to go through the Shortcuts community value, who we are as an organization, how you can get involved or stay connected with the Shortcut. I'm going to talk a little bit about how there are 5 LinkedIn premium accounts up for grabs, which is really exciting, so thank you, Maria. And then I'm going to introduce Maria, and then we're going to go into the session about how you can make the most out of your LinkedIn profile and really get a lot of traction. So the Shortcuts, our community value. So we are for the people, by the people. We support each other in our pursuit of employment, entrepreneurship, and giving back. So we create this nice circle of good, which is great. Who are we? So we're the largest talent accelerator in the Nordics. Feels quite good to be able to say that. And we essentially equip talent like yourselves with the skills and the networks that you need to either become an entrepreneur, so start your own company, or work for a high growth company or startup. We're owned by an umbrella company called the Startup Foundation, who owns other companies like Slash, Junction, Maria01, and Wave Ventures. You may have heard of those. And we're non-profit. So we're here because we care. Everything we do is for you guys. We don't have dividends or anything like that. So how can you get involved and stay connected? So we post updates about our events and workshops on all our social media channels. You can see them below. So we're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and we have our website. We also have a newsletter that's free to subscribe to. I'd recommend doing that if you have the time, because then you'll stay up to date. And the good news is that all of our events are free to join, all completely free. So there's a low barrier to entry, highly accessible, no excuses. I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that Maria has kindly offered to give out 5 LinkedIn premium accounts for those of you who's attended this session. And all you have to do to enter is to have attended the session. And on Monday, I'm going to do a raffle. I'm going to pick 5 people at random, and then I'm going to email you to let you know if you've won or not. And what are the benefits of LinkedIn Premium? Well, you have access to LinkedIn Learning, which is this great, I guess, database full of loads of video tutorials about certain skills. And it basically covers everything I used to have access in my previous company. It was really great. You get monthly in-mail. You can finally see who's viewed your profile when you have that really mysterious person who's viewed your profile and you really, really want to know who it is, which tends to happen quite a lot to me. If you have LinkedIn Premium, then you can see who it is. And you also get additional applicant insights, which is all quite exciting. So yes, Monday the 15th of June, we'll hold the raffle for everyone that's attended this session. I want to introduce Maria now. I'm still really struggling. I'm so sorry, Maria, with your name. It's the R's. It's the R's. But Maria is a Finn abroad, and I want to be gardener and a Nordic sales manager at LinkedIn. LinkedIn's vision is to create economical opportunity for every member of the global workforce, and their mission is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. Maya's had an incredible opportunity to work for LinkedIn for the past 7 years and grow her career from deal desk administrator to sales management. LinkedIn has had an immense impact on her professional growth, not only as an employer, but as a platform that has uniquely enabled her to connect and stay connected with people globally, learn through amazing content shared by individuals, companies, and organizations, and showcase my professional identity. My job as a LinkedIn sales manager is to manage a team of salespeople who help companies to find and attract talent on our platform. And her responsibility as a LinkedIner is to help members learn how to get the most out of LinkedIn. And I'm very much looking forward to sharing some great tips and tricks with you all to help you build an all-star profile and help you to land that dream job. Excellent. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now. Was that about right, Maria?
It was about right. Thank you
Brilliant.
so much, Stefan, for
No,
that introduction.
you're very welcome. So if you want to present your screen and go ahead
Yes,
with the
perfect.
presentation, I'm going to put myself on mute, and I might interrupt every now and then if there are questions coming in on the chat, which I think are relevant and useful to answer during your
Exactly, yeah,
presentation. Cool.
perfect. Thank you, Stefan, so much for this and having me here as well. And thank you for everybody joining us today. I'm really, really pleased to be here today. And again, it's sunny outside there, I heard. So thank you. Extra big thanks for joining. It is absolutely miserable in Dublin at the moment. So I'm happy to be indoors in my woolly socks in a Finnish style. So like Stefan just said, I'm a sales manager at LinkedIn. LinkedIn has multiple business lines. A lot of the times when I tell people that I work for LinkedIn, people are like, what do you actually do there? Where does LinkedIn actually get money from? Isn't it just a platform to have your CV on there for free? It's not quite right. It's one part of it, just a small part of LinkedIn. What the business line that I represent is LinkedIn Talent Solutions, and me and my team help Finnish companies use LinkedIn to find the best talent for their open opportunities, as well as then position them as an employer of choice in front of the talent on LinkedIn. In that role, we get to see all the time who are the people that, you know, the Finnish companies, whether they are the big ones like Wärtsilä and Finnair and Patser and so on, to the smallest of, you know, startups just starting in Oulu or Turku. We get to see how they use LinkedIn. Who are they looking for? How are they using the LinkedIn tools to find you? And one of the biggest kind of objectives for the session today is to show you how you can, build your profile in a way that you would show up in one of the first profiles when companies are looking for people with your particular skills. Yeah. So I'm going to share now. There has been in the past some issues maybe in buffering that when we start sharing screens that it might buffer. Please let Stefan know if there's really a big network issues in your end. I don't expect to get any issues in my end. So again, like the recording then hopefully will be without any issues. Yeah. Perfect. And I've been given about 30 minutes. I could talk about LinkedIn about a week. So I'm going to go through quite fast things to make sure that we cover as much as we can live. So I'm not going to go through a deck. I'm going to show you live where everything is. And then there will be material shared afterwards, then where that shows a little bit more. You don't have to, try to remember everything, or if I mistell something, you can refer back to that material. Perfect. So let's get cracking and start sharing my screen. Perfect. And that's going to disappear there. Wonderful. Okay, so can Stefan can you put just a thumbs
Yeah,
up if it's perfect? Okay,
I can see your
wonderful. And
screen.
is the text okay? It's not too small
If you can make it
and
a
you can
bit
see.
bigger, that'd be great.
Okay, let's try. I'll put it. Because then if I put it, is it better now? If I
Yeah, that's
or
good.
do you?
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. If I put it to full 100, then it's just going to be too big on my own screen. Perfect. Okay. So let's go. It all starts, of course, in your own profile. If you do not have already a LinkedIn profile, then it's easy to find. Just Google linkedin.com, and you just follow the steps through to have to build your own profile. It doesn't take too long. If in case you already have a profile, you just don't remember the passwords or something, there's instructions for that as well. But once you've been able to log in, you will see exactly what I see here as well in my on this screen. I need to highlight that I myself have a premium profile, so I will see a little bit some of the insights that you are not necessarily able to see at the moment, but I try to highlight only the things that everybody, whether you pay for your profile or not, that you still use those functionalities in your end. So everything starts with your profile. So having a good solid profile is the foundation for everything. When you have picture, when you have text on your profile and so on, reaching out to other people and growing your network becomes a lot easier because people trust that your profile is accurate, you're an actual human being in the other end. Also, your searchability, is that even an English word? But the way you can be searched on the platform, and how high in a search results you come up. For example, for companies who have a license to our member data and can search for candidates with hundreds of different filters actually. How high in those search results is very much based on your profile and how complete it is, in addition then to how active you are on the platform. So the basic things is having a picture, a clear picture of yourself, your full name, and then having a basic things like where you are, where you are based actually, what is your location, yeah, and then having about sections and so forth. How you edit the profile is here, where you can start with everywhere you can see the pen. You can modify that text. One really nice thing for anybody who is currently actively seeking for jobs, is a student or is already employed, is to have a headline. This headline doesn't have to be your current role. For example, I have LinkedIn Sales Manager, but I also have Can't Stop, Won't Stop Learning, which for me, it's quite personal thing. It's something that I'm really happy about, and it's me. I'm constantly sponge of information, and I wanted to highlight that in my headline to make it a little bit more have a character, so to say. So the headline, if you're a job seeker, could be just like open for new opportunities. Even better is that for example, what can I say? I don't know, just like a Java expert looking for opportunities in Helsinki area, for example. So again, like when people see your profile where you are popping up, whether it's commenting somebody's update or content, they can see immediately that okay, this could be an interesting profile, for example.
And Maria,
Yeah.
is it true that the vertical bar is good for like keywords? So like every time you insert the vertical bar, then
Yeah.
the algorithm can differentiate between the two sections.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so very much you can put their comments and so on as well, but if this is being, this people see this a lot, as well as then like any emojis. If you're updating your profile on your phone, you can also add their emojis if you want, but this, yeah, exactly, where you can just kind of like make sure that you can list their skills. And anything else that you wanna add here, just go ahead and then you just save. Yeah. And then one thing which is really key, again, like LinkedIn is not just about CV. It's not even, we don't, as a LinkedIn, it's not it's your profile, it's your brand. If you want to keep it very clinical, just kind of like, okay, this is my jobs, this is what I'm looking for, that's totally up to you. But LinkedIn gives you the chance to really personalize it as well, make the profile a really representation of you, instead of just like, very cold kind of just facts type of resume. So when it comes to the about section, or so-called summary as well, really, really encourage to have a text that it's about you. What do you know today? Where do you want to take your career? So, and you can type there pretty much endless amount of things, highlighting with key kind of like bullet points or numbers, for example, your particular skills or expertise is really, really good as well. Very easy for any recruiter or anybody else who's looking to network with you, to kind of identify like, okay, you are the perfect candidate here. And when it comes to, having skills, having keywords in your profile, it's really, really key, especially when you are looking for, actively looking for job. So if you have a technical background, for example, that you know a lot of software languages, if you are expert in that way, please make sure that you highlight those, program names, anything that, has a name, and put it there, kind of spreading all over your profile, because again, it works a little bit like a search engine optimization, where when people are looking for profiles and candidates, so let's say that a recruiter is looking for somebody who has a JavaScript skill, a person who has JavaScript mentioned in their profile multiple times is more likely to come more like higher up in the search results. It doesn't mean that every second word has to be that, but it's just like, spreading it in the summary section, as well as then in your experience. For example, section that where you say, yeah, if you've been working on a project, that you highlight, okay, what tools did I use, what program languages and so on did I use in my job, as well as then, when we scroll a little bit down, where then the skills and the endorsements come up, and then you can again highlight. So not only relying on the skill and the endorsement bits where you highlight your skills, but also really putting it in the summary, as well as then in your job history, if that's if you have any. Yeah. So just to scroll a little bit back up here, you can see that I have, a little bit of like a feature thing where I've highlighted a couple of like slides where I thought that are again very much about me, explaining, so whoever is in my profile gets quite good kind of fast image of who am I as a person. The features section, you can put here links, you can put here videos, you can put here PDFs, any kind of text. So again, it's just to showcase your work, what you've done in the past. So anything relevant to that, you can add it there as a kind of like a meat on the bones. And then we look at, again, like the experience. It shouldn't be just maybe I have a little bit like a resume, but if possible, please highlight actually the impacts you've had in your past role, for example. Again, if you're just fresh from school, or if you do not have necessarily a long work history, you might not have, a lot of content there to put, but just think about, what did you do in that work? What did you accomplish? And explain a little bit about the company as well. So again, an hiring manager or recruiter can get an easily picture of like, hey, they worked in a similar company, or this is the kind of background they have. Maybe it's suitable for us as well. And then when we look at going a little bit lower, so education, again, really, really crucial that we put here the schools that we've been, when did we start, when did we finish, any education that you had, and what was that course about, for example. And any other licenses and certifications. So Stefan there, mentioned the LinkedIn Learning. There's the LinkedIn Learning does require to have a full unlimited access to LinkedIn Learning, does require a premium access, but there's loads of free stuff as well. This is, free meaning that any member can take that course, and I'm going to highlight a few of them in a few minutes. But those, for example, once you've taken a course in LinkedIn Learning, you can then put it here, or it just automatically suggests, can I add it to your profile? But any other certifications that you've had, professional, educational, and so forth, please add them here. And now the skills and endorsements. This is really, really important. The skills even more now than ever. And what we can put here is, again, like I think it was up to 50 skills. So anything you can think of, just jot it down there. You just put it there, and it really doesn't matter if you're not being endorsed for that skill. You can still be highlighted in the search results for any hiring manager or recruiter looking, using LinkedIn to find candidates. It doesn't look up for me here, for example, say that I've been, endorsed for employer branding, and it says that endorsed by Björn, for example, who is highly skilled at this. It just adds a little bit of credibility in the fact that I've put that, okay, I know a little bit about employer branding, but again, it doesn't mean that if you don't necessarily have somebody endorsing you for that skill, that it doesn't matter. So anything that you can put there. And I got a sneak peek of your own, the Shortcut website, where I saw some of the talent, putting their, hashtags, putting there a lot of development languages, for example, here. So all this is stuff that definitely, can be added on LinkedIn as well. And the more specific you are with your skills, the better. Yeah, so all is added here. And then a really interesting addition, which is only a few months old, is to take the skill quiz. So I can hear we have actually technical, there was business skills, and what was there was a third one as well, business and technical skill at least. It started with heavily technical. It's just easy to assess, if somebody is really good, for example, .NET framework. And you can take these skills. It's about 15 questions per quiz. And again, once you've passed that, you can get a badge in your profile that you've done it. And again, that will be highlighted as well for whoever is searching your profile, and it comes up, for example, that you've passed these quizzes. I did myself one for PowerPoint. I've used PowerPoint for I don't even know how long, probably 20 years by now. And it was incredibly hard quiz. I thought I didn't pass. I did pass it in the end. But if you don't pass the test, you can take it only within the next, you can take it only after 3 months. So you can't be going, doing it, and then like, okay, this answer was wrong. Okay, I'm going to do it again. It doesn't work like that. So you have to wait for another 3 months to do it. So make sure that if you do take a quiz, skill-based quiz assessment here, then make sure that you are comfortable with the topic, and it's something that you actually have skills for, and then you can test that compared to LinkedIn assessment as well. But it's really, really good. Anybody who is starting their careers, late in their careers, whatever it is, take advantage of that, definitely.
Maria, I've got
Yes.
two questions, if I could
Yes.
interrupt you
Yep.
kindly. Actually, three questions. Are the quizzes timed? Do you know?
I don't remember it was. That's a really great, but I don't remember that it was.
Okay, cool. And then
Mm.
does it? Oh, it says a couple of people have said yes. I think maybe some of them are, but that's all right.
Some of them might be, yeah.
But if you fail the test, it doesn't show up on your LinkedIn profile.
No, it doesn't show up. No, absolutely not. It just means that you're not able to take it immediately again, and that brings again credibility to the quizzes. Yeah.
Great. And one of our participants or attendees of this call is actually doing one of the quizzes right now, which is great. That's really good. Another question I had was referring back to the skills section. And
Yes.
Bia was asking whether she should put every single skill that she can think of. For example, she's a web developer, student working with React and Node. Should she also put HTML and CSS there, even though using React implies that you know both of these languages?
I would put as specifically as possible. So, software, when I look at how our clients are using LinkedIn to search, they could put there just software development. But at this stage, software development, for example, just as an example, is such a large skill that we have actually, tens of thousands of members who have that particular skill in their profile. So to narrow down the searches for they're going to start adding more and more skills to narrow it down. So do not be too generic in your skills. Put as many specific names as possible. Does that make sense, Devon?
That makes complete
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. I have
Yeah.
a couple more questions, but I'll wait until
Yes.
the end because
Okay.
I'll let you go back to presenting.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And on this, now that we are talking about the skills, I'm going to share you an insights a little bit about Finland. So this is the deck that I have shared with Stefan as well. So kind of like what's happening in Finland when it comes to LinkedIn. And let me give me a second and then swap. Okay, perfect. Now you should see the big screen. Do you?
Not quite at the moment. I still see your LinkedIn profile, and I can still see you haven't accepted my friend request, which is very upset. No, I'm just
Sorry. Well, I'll get on into it.
No.
Fast. Let me share again. Let me share again my screen. Okay, share. And are you seeing now where it says Finland regional snapshot? Yes, okay, perfect. So at the moment in Finland, we have it says the official number is 1 million, but we're closing now to 1.4, if not 1.5 million members across Finland. About 30,000 company pages, 30,000 standardized skills. So again, when we mentioned that, it's not just software developer, but there is standardized skills for a lot of it. And it will, if you start typing and it comes up, definitely use it. And then there's schools as well, 5,000 schools represented in Finland. Globally, if we're looking where LinkedIn is, we're about 690 million members, really close to 700 million members. When I started at LinkedIn, that like 7.5 years ago, I remember receiving an t-shirt, we were celebrating 150 million members quite shortly after I started. So the increase in our member base has been quite significant over the years. And like, given that we are a professional network, and so, you know, comparing it to any other social platform is quite, you know, it doesn't make any sense because our target audience is so different. Professional network, where people who are either students or in working a work life are our main audience, of course. There's a lot of members. There's a lot of people like you on LinkedIn in Finland. There's thousands of companies that you can find as well. And if we look at, sorry, no, just try to, oh, yep, okay, yeah. And just to highlight kind of like the most followed companies, we have like University of Helsinki, we have Aalto, Finnair, TED conferences. These are the organizations or companies that are more followed by Finnish members. The largest companies, Helsinki University, Nokia, OP, Nordea, Helsingin Kaupunki, Aalto, ABB, and so forth are the largest companies. And then the interesting one is the fastest growing companies. We have a lot of really cool tech companies like Aura, IC, Volt, for example, there, that are growing massively. Of course, their talent as well. And again, this is information that I can share in the deck, though you can refer back to it a little bit later. But what's interesting is the fastest growing and most in demand occupations at the moment. So these are the occupations or the titles that companies are most looking. So when they go to they have this license to the member base, and they're looking for, okay, how many people, for example, in Finland are in data scientists? And these are the titles that they're looking for. And then most in demand is the one like where we send actually an email as well. So these are the occupation: full stack engineer, DevOps engineer, cloud engineer, data architects, and so on. These are the occupations that have received most emails over the past 12 months. So they are most in demand. This is not unique to Finland, of course. This is trend anywhere in the world. So what I understood that this, you know, primary audience was people with technical skills. So again, you are very much on demand. So making sure that you have a good profile with a lot of good information is really key for you to be able to, you know, come high up in the search results, and the likelihood of people contacting you is greater.
Sorry, Maria.
Yeah.
Sorry, Maria,
Yes.
just another question. With those job titles, is it important that on your own LinkedIn profile you use the same nomenclature? So if rather than using full stack developer, which doesn't appear on the list, full stack engineer does. And my assumption is if LinkedIn is like a search engine, then it's important you use the right words and the right terminology.
Yeah. So I'm not fully aware of like the science behind it. So when we advise our clients how they search for people, or how they, for example, create, let's say that they are posting a job, they're not going to put there a data ninja. They would put there the data scientist, for example. It should be, words should be used where, you know, it's the likelihood of people looking up this, you know, from like Google, for example. So if somebody who is a software engineer, what exactly is the title that they would use in a Google search to find jobs for that? But, you know, you can definitely, for example, if you are, I think with the title, it sometimes comes the issue that you don't actually know what the official would be. So the occupations as well on LinkedIn, they are a little bit grouped because there is so much variety of what's actually people are using as titles. So the closest to the most generic you can be, the better, I would say. But you don't have to go to a great lengths to try to find what exactly is the most suitable here. But use generic language when you're referring to a title, for example, in your profile, and then with skills, be very specific. So if we look at what are the top skills at the moment for our members in Finland: sales management, B2B sales, product development, engineering, product management, and so on. But the fastest growing skills are presentation skills, for example. So again, it's not just about the technical skill, it's more about like, okay, do you have experience in doing PowerPoints, or are you a team player? Are you a team, do you have management skills, team lead skills, and so forth? But React.js, Node.js, and so on. So again, the more specific you can be, the better. But very much, you are the fastest growing, group at the moment, people who have those specific skills.
Yeah, I have none of those skills.
None of those skills. You haven't listed none of those skills.
No, I'm just joking.
Okay, perfect. Well, me neither. And I was like, okay, maybe I should start learning a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's my cup of tea. But these are the fastest growing skills. Again, just to highlight the importance of people are using LinkedIn. People are looking for people like you. So make sure that you have all the necessary information there. Okay, so we are completely running out of time. Let me share my screen again, and I'm going to go back to LinkedIn. So before we completely run out of time, so now becomes of course, the interesting part, which is again, how do you find jobs on LinkedIn? The most, common thing is the job section. So you go here and you start looking for, search for your next job. So you can look up by title, skill, company. Again, I have to say, with the COVID-19 going on, the amount of jobs on LinkedIn, of course, has dropped as well. Companies simply are not hiring at the moment the way they used to, but it's pretty much safe to say that those who are hiring, if they have a job here, they are hiring. So again, you can find based on company, and then based on city, or worldwide, and so on. You can then, after you've done a search, you can also save that search, and you can create a job alert. So you don't have to go there every day, look for a job. You can let the system work for you as well, and kind of make sure that you get, for example, an email notification or notifications in the system that says you, hey, LinkedIn found you jobs based on your search, and you can use that. So you don't have to every day go and do the search the same. And then again, you will get, when somebody is reaching out to you, for example, hopefully with an email, you get, of course, messaging here, and it will be highlighted here as well. And when you are done with your your job search, you will start seeing LinkedIn offering you jobs as well, highlighting jobs you may be interested in. Key here for this is like LinkedIn. It's just like any other system with an algorithm. The more you use LinkedIn, the more specific you are with your actions. Like, let's say that I would be only looking for sales manager roles. It will start highlighting me sales manager roles. However, many times in my role, I'm looking up clients, jobs as well, and then, communication manager, or software engineer, or hardware engineer, whatever it is. And my job recommendations are quite all over the place because of that. But if you are doing specific searches consistently, it will learn that, and it will start highlighting very, very relevant opportunities for you. So coming here and seeing what they're actually offering is key to as well, kind of see what's going on, what's available. And here then, you can save jobs as well, which would show up here. It shows you all the jobs that you've applied, so you can keep kind of tabs on like, oh, have I heard from this company? You can get those job alerts. You can do interview prep as well as then look at a little bit like salary or resume builder. And then again, if I go to my own profile, back up a little bit, I come here, and you can see here, show recruiters you are open to job opportunities. These can be also found when I'm here in me section and I look at settings and privacy. Yeah. And here, this is crucial. Like everybody, you know, it says, Maria, you are the boss of your account. Please go to your settings, make sure that you understand what's being set, how are they using your data, what actually you give permission to, your email notifications and everything. You are the boss of your own account. And here the job seeking preferences, for example, is that, you know, job application settings. So again, when you look up a job, do you want the hiring kind of manager or whoever posted the job to see that you are showing interest? You can decide that. Let recruiters know you're open to new opportunities. So at the moment I have as no, but if I click on this, I can toggle this and say yes. Perfect. And when I go back to my profile, it says that I'm open to new opportunities. This open to new opportunities is not visible for anybody but people and members who have the LinkedIn recruiter license. This is, you know, it comes with a cost. Not everybody can get it. So it's only for people who are really looking for candidates. So nobody else, even if you're employed at the moment, you can still say that you are open to opportunities, and nobody else will be able to see that. So it's very discreet way to kind of raise your hand to you know, recruiters and hiring managers that, hey, I might be employed at the moment, but I'll be willing to talk about new opportunities. So please check out all these alerts as well, and make sure that you go through all these settings and understand what's actually being set. So just to highlight a couple of, let me think of a company. Well, I'm just going to go to LinkedIn to not to waste too much time. So again, like when this could be any other Finnish company, for example, when you are here, what's important as a job seeker is the life section. Life is not every company has a life section, but life section is about employer branding. Who are they as an employer? It can give you incredible insights into the company, and help you, for example, in the interview process. That what are they actually offering as an employer? Why does this company resonate with you? Is it their values? Is it their, you know, pictures, seeing people like yourself, for example? Is there an interesting person as a leader that you want to work for? And again, being able to highlight, I've done my job, and I've looked you up, and I know what this company is about, is really valuable. The other one is then the jobs. So when you find an interesting company, you can go to the job section and you can look up any of the jobs. So let me say just for example this, and then being able to just to save or then just apply for a job is really easy. And here as well, when you are thinking about the skills that you want to add on your LinkedIn profile, a lot of the times employers as well, they highlight in the job the top skills. So you could come here as well and see like, okay, if I'm applying for jobs like this, what are the skills that they would be looking for? And now make sure, for example, it tells me here that in my profile, I could put Microsoft Excel, management, Microsoft Word, and English in my profile as a skill. And again, I would be a more top candidate for the job. And then just a couple of things about my network. So again, LinkedIn is far more than just a somewhere to have your profile. The more active you are on LinkedIn, it doesn't like being active on LinkedIn doesn't mean that you have to post there every day, but having a active, news feed, having connections, liking content here and there, looking for jobs, it's all about that activity. So again, it doesn't mean that you have to be visible there all the time by sharing content, but visiting the platform, looking for jobs, it's always highlighted as like an active member, and a member as more likely to respond to, for example, an email. And then you can look up groups as well, events, any company pages, for example. So again, following a company that you are interested in is really good way to show interest, because again, when a recruiter, let's say, is looking for candidates, they can see that, this person is, for example, already following our company on LinkedIn, hence they're probably aware of us, they're probably interested in us, more likely to reply to my email as well. And then if I go back to my profile quickly, I'm almost done, Stefan, here. Just want to highlight one last thing, is the edit public profile and URL. Again, and this add profile in another language. So if you are Finnish is not, unfortunately, a LinkedIn official language, so you can't have a Finnish profile. It's the only option is to have English. But if you are English, if you're also Swedish speaking, whatever language it is, you can have your profile in that language as well. So whatever 23, 24 official languages that we have at the moment. So you could have possibly at least the major languages, you could have your profile in that language as well. And then edit public profile and URL. And this is really important because a lot of people, you might not realize that people can't see your picture. They might not be able to actually see anything of your profile if they're outside your network. So edit visibility, your profile's public visibility. What do you actually want to show when a person who's not connected to you is looking your profile, or they Google your name? What will show up? So you can manage all it here, as well as then the personalize the URL for your LinkedIn profile can be done easily here. So it's not just a number; you can put your own name into it. But that was of most about it, I think. If I stop sharing, and then we have time for questions as well. Again, there's a lot of things I could have gone through. I will share all the possible, content that I can, and of course, you are more than welcome to link with me on, or connect with me on LinkedIn as well, and answer any questions you might have.
Maria, thank you so much. Someone in the audience asked me if they could connect with you, and you just offered it up, so thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you can. Yeah. And ask any questions that you want.
I can, yeah. Thank you. I can see Ali in the call. Ali, there you go. Go for it. I said I didn't want to ask just in case you got a deluge of requests. But
no,
that's
absolutely.
really great. No, thanks very much. I've got a few questions that I want to spend 5 minutes on, and then I'd like to spend 5 minutes going over the key takeaways, because I've taken some notes for everyone about the things that I think are quite important. But the first question is from Wendy. I just need to go and scroll up to her original question because it was some time ago. Sorry, Wendy. What should I write in my summary section when my working experience is not related or concerning my current search for a dream job in a different field?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a challenge for a lot of people. So I would then maybe put that as in the job experience section. I would be quite generic in kind of saying what did I do or what the company was like in a really brief way. What was it that what was your role there? And then in the summary section, highlight then like, okay, for example, that I've been in the past, I could say that, despite my sales experience, I want to move into marketing, and these are the opportunities that I'm looking for. These are the companies that I would, type of companies that I would like to work for. And then these are my skills that are relevant to the new role that I'm really looking forward to, or the new career.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on. I've got 2 questions from Ali now.
Yeah.
He's been told many times that to take away his advanced skills that he's acquired over time when applying for junior positions, as this might go against him, as they'll think he's overqualified. Do you believe that to be true or false?
I really can't say that. From a hiring manager or recruiter perspective, I think it's silly. It makes sense that people might be thinking like that. But again, maybe in the summary section, explain a little bit out what is it that you're looking for. Why are you making, for example, a career change? Or, again, I could be a sales manager and then start completely fresh as a software developer for some reason.
Yeah.
So is that the scenario kind of what you're looking for, Ali? Yeah.
I think it's more that he's a very skilled developer, and he has sometimes removes his skills, like his really professional skills, when he applies for junior roles, because he doesn't want to come across as overqualified. But what I would say, maybe I can help answer this one, Ali, is that keep your skills on there. If they don't want you, you don't want to work at that company. Full stop.
Amen.
Don't work for that. If they don't want you, don't work for that company. It's like
exactly.
you want to employ people that are better than you. So I would personally keep them.
Exactly, yeah. And if there really is a job that you're really interested in that might be a little bit junior, where you fear that you might run into the same issue, then put it in your summary as well, like, okay, you are open for these type of roles as well because. And then if it's a company that has, for example, the hiring manager might be as a member, you could also just reach out to them, like as like a member to member, is like, hey, this sounds really, really cool job, be very interested in it, I have huge experience, but I wanna start a little bit fresh, or I just want to work for your company, so I'm ready to take on a different role.
That's a really nice way of putting it. I really want to work for your company, so I'm willing to do things underneath my usual skill set. Yeah, I think that's really nice. Thank you. He also had another question about if there was anywhere he could go for more information about increasing visibility on LinkedIn, because he was kind of suggesting that maybe the filters and the tagging and the system will change over time. So is there anywhere in LinkedIn that you can go to stay on top of visibility?
They're not from the top of my mind. I remember we have like a LinkedIn for engineers or LinkedIn for developers, kind of microsite, that used to have a lot of blog posts about the algorithms and things like this. Usually what I find as well is just Google helps, our help center, or then there's a company or some search engine optimization wizard somewhere who's done kind of like the job for you, and then can give tips. But that person who, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just connect me and ask again, and I will try to find that specific, if we have any resources.
Thank you. I've got 2 more questions, and then I'll wrap up. The next question is from Sandy, and he's wondering whether Easy Apply works or not, or whether he should also go to the company website and send his CV directly there as well. And I know that that's a problem that I've had in the past. Like when I click easy apply, it seems too easy.
Yeah, yeah, that's the kind of like the whole point, that it is easy. So lowering like the clicks needed for anybody, to actually apply for a job. Company who has it's not by default. Company, it is a conscious action from a company when they post a job, whether they want easy apply or just apply. Apply means that if you are directed to somewhere outside LinkedIn. Easy apply means that your um, your profile is kind of added in their end, kind of on LinkedIn, and they will have those profiles saved for that particular job. If you're really really interested in the job, absolutely go and apply on their website as well, just to kind of like a double make sure that you show interest. But the easy apply, it's a conscious decision from every job poster. So if they do use that, then they should know exactly where the applicants are, and they are aware that you've applied.
Great, thank you. And this is the last question. I hope I've covered everyone actually, which is good. So this is from Hafiz, and oh no, I've got an extra question. No, no, this is from Hafiz, who says, I'm a vehicle technician, but I've changed my career completely, and I'm studying to become a web developer. Should I remove my previous experience as a vehicle technician from my profile or not?
I wouldn't, absolutely not. So again, like when it comes to experiences, it's really useful to have that, because it tells you it's totally fine. Like a lot of companies should be perfectly fine with, like, people pivoting their careers, whatever you did in the past. I've done that as well. So again, just in the summary, highlight your job experience where it's supposed to be highlighted, but then in the summary, let people know what you actually want to do in the future.
Great, thanks very much. I think that's the end of the questions, and I just want to go over a few takeaways from what you said today. And then you can agree or disagree with me, Nadia.
Perfect.
LinkedIn is your personal brand. You should use a catchy headline and separate it with vertical bars. Number and bullet point your skills in the about section. Put keywords in your about section. Put keywords in your experience. Put keywords in your skills section, because LinkedIn works like a search engine. So you need to put all these keywords in as many sections as you can, because then that increases the probability of your profile coming up when recruiters search for it for a particular thing. In your experience section, highlight the impacts that you had in that company. And that's something I should definitely do, because I just list bullet points. You're right, I should put the impacts there. In your skills section, put as many specific points as you can. You can have up to 50. So in the example that we spoke about earlier, do put CSS and HTML, even if it's implied within React. Put it all down. Take a skill quiz if you want to be quickly endorsed. It shows a recruiter that you know your stuff, and it's a really quick and easy way of doing it. Use the most generic job titles that you can. So for me, avoid stuff like operations ninja, because I will not come up for recruiters. So I should just put operations manager, for example. Show recruiters that you're open for opportunities through the settings page. And if you want to understand a company better, you've introduced the life section on the company pages, which is all about employer branding. And actually, that's a good way of getting tips and tricks for the interview process if you make it that far. And that's all I've got.
Absolutely, yeah, fully agree. And there was tons of things that I didn't mention. I will follow up with a couple of links as well, for people that I hope that Stefan can then share with whoever was attending here, and really looking forward to seeing those who were lucky enough in the raffle to get the premium membership. And again, please reach out to me, whether it's just a connection request, or just want a question. I'm available. Absolutely.
Maria, thank you so much for your time. That was really, really useful. I learned a lot as well. So I really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone else for joining this call. It was really, really nice to see so many of you here, despite the really nice weather. We had another session on how to manage your time at home next Wednesday. If you're interested, I'll send the details for that a little bit later on. But for now, have a really nice evening, and I'll speak to you all again soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.